Good morning, everybody. It is February 3rd, 5:40 in the morning right now. We're just going to take a quick look at Ethereum and discuss what we were projecting yesterday versus what Ethereum actually did. So yesterday we were looking at it here in the morning saying, okay, so we clearly found that support at the bottom here. And we clearly see the buyers coming in, right? We saw this rejection by the sellers towards this zone over here, the 1,388. 1,300, 1,400 to be exact. And we saw that the sellers actually came in here on a couple of days ago and actually drove the price down. That's on the 1 hour candle, right? And then we went back down over here to the 1,360. And then we found that support at the 8 EMA on the 1 hour chart, right? So now, obviously, when we had that breakout, right, the next day on February 2nd, which is yesterday exactly, as soon as literally almost at midnight, we started pushing up as Bitcoin was actually showing signs of a reversal, right? Bitcoin was stuck in this range over here, and we were closely paying attention to what's going on because any breakout above this range over here that we had was going to propel the price action towards the breakout, right? So if let me just move this volume here to a new pane below. Perfect. So what basically happened with Bitcoin, we were stuck in this obvious descending triangle, and we are clear in terms of where our support line is at the 30,500. The ceiling was slanted, and they were showing more signs of the sellers actually coming in every time. They're driving the price down at a higher rate as we move forward with time, right? And as soon as we had that breakout, right, we had this breakout, we pushed all the way up, and now, from a technical standpoint, you're supposed to find that support at the resistance line, the previous resistance line that turned into support now. And we need to see, right, this level was very critical. How is Bitcoin going to perform against this newly formed support line? And we were stuck in this range, and we're saying is that in terms of analysis, right? So besides what's going on in terms of the news and the buzz behind and all that, just from a technical standpoint, we found the resistance at the 34,720. And then we dropped back down to the 32,171. And in this range right here, it was still almost a no trade zone for me because of the sideways, the very apparent sideways action on the 1 hour, right? At this area right here, we're still very indecisive, right? Buyers and sellers are still looking, okay, is Bitcoin going to hold and push up, or are we going to go down? Were these buyers over here, were these guys enough to actually continue the uptrend momentum towards the upside here, or was this just a technical breakout? And that was pretty much it, right? So we needed to see, but it was the plan was any a break above the 34,700 and or anything below the 32,175 was going to propel the price action towards where the breakout was, right? And then what we saw yesterday is that Bitcoin was doing actually higher lows as we move up, right? So we did drop all the way down here, and the movement was towards the upper side of this range with the clear higher highs as we move forward until we got this candle over here at 4 o'clock yesterday in the morning, where we saw Bitcoin basically break above this range, go all the way up to the 35,683, drop back down to find that support at the top of that range at 34,667, and boom, kept moving upwards, right? And it was clear we're finding that support at 21 EMA and the 8 EMA. So that was also being reflected at Ethereum too, right? So we find that support at the bottom. For the longest time, for comparing the price action of Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, you saw on the previous chart here, Bitcoin was having lower highs as we move forward with a constant bottom, as opposed to Ethereum, where it was having higher lows as we move forward with a constant ceiling, right? And then we broke that ceiling yesterday, and that ceiling was at the 1,462. We were looking at Ethereum somewhere around this region yesterday, right here in the morning, and it was clear that there was a clear battle, but The good thing was that Ethereum was following Bitcoin's price action. As soon as Bitcoin broke above that range we were talking about, Ethereum actually broke out of this significant resistance we were looking at previously. Still not all-time highs, but at the 1,436. And what we needed to see another breakout above that, and for us to hold it, right? So we did break above. Buyers came in, drove us down back to the 8 EMA. We found that support at the 1,400 again, which was pretty good after we broke above right here. We broke above these key lines, go all the way up to this line over here. This is all, it was more of a supply zone for Ethereum, right? Because you can't draw that one line, but you can have a range here saying, hey, look, every time I reach this range, sell-offs happen. And this is what you start looking at, right? And then you start within that range, you see where's the price action leaning towards in that range, right? Are we leaning towards the upside or the bottom, right? And typically with Ethereum, as soon as we reach that, we see clear cut downtrend right after, right? Except for here, for example, we went all the way up. We went down a bit to the 1,420, and then we were struggling to actually maintain that. And then as soon as you start seeing those kind of candles, that's when you realize, okay, no, we're actually heading towards the bottom side. It was pretty clear here with this candle right away. We just literally rejected majority of the piercing that we had throughout this range, except for here. Here what we had was, maybe if we need to go to lower time frames here to see what we're talking about. So if we go to the 5 minute, there we go. Am I looking at the right one here? Yes. So perfect. This is it, right? So we had that break above. Now within this range, we had that break above. We start forming some sort of a wedge, right? I would say something like this, right? So with a wedge like this, what happens is, whatever, it's a symmetrical wedge, right? So it's not pointing upwards and it's not pointing downwards. Typically your rising wedge is something like this, right? You have price action following a trend like this. There's a rising wedge, and a falling wedge is something like this, where the price action goes something like this. Something like this, right? But with a symmetrical wedge, what you have is something like this, right? Where the price action is symmetrical between these two, and the wedge is actually pointing horizontally. So now when you have the wedge pointing horizontally, you at the breakout of this wedge, you will mimic the previous price action leading into that wedge, right? So as soon as we see that, we had an uptrend, then we got stuck in a wedge. Basically, anything a break above this wedge will actually propel the price action again in the direction that we got into that wedge with. So with the uptrend has to continue, and you'll see that actually being reflected over here. As soon as we broke above it, and then we had to obviously retest this, and boom, right after, within the 5 minute range here, we actually broke above. And then we went 4% within 10 minutes on Ethereum, right? So you can see that people are actually following this. So now if we go back to the 1 hour, we're seeing, so obviously Ethereum actually went all the way up here. We went back down to retest the 1,462, and then that was pretty much it. We have higher highs now. Ethereum is all the way up now. What's the plan for whatever's coming, right? So we see that the momentum here was, for the longest time, even looking at this here, right? In terms of momentum, we were going up. Momentum was increasing. We weren't really trying to go back below in terms of the MACD, in terms of reversal of this upward momentum. And then we went, just literally hovered over the zero line, and then we started picking up again. Then we went down here, then we start picking up again. So we can tell that we're not even allowing Ethereum to actually have a reverse of a momentum in terms of price action. And then boom and boom. And this right here was pretty telling. By this point right here, you can tell that Ethereum is just having an increased positive price action price momentum. And we had so many signs telling us that we're actually going to break above, especially with whatever's going on with Bitcoin, because we just broke out of that range too. So now we're going up here. We're clearly finding the support at the 21 EMA on the 1 hour. We're finding that battle, obviously. In terms of the MACD here, we're already in the negative here just because of the sideways action. I think right now it wouldn't really hurt us if we actually come back down to retest this level, or at least find support at this. We gotta find these. I'm just gonna draw where we will find potential supports as we go down, and then obviously this is the most major support at the previous highs, right? So right now we're definitely hovering above. We want to see the buyers continue to. We're either going to see some sort of a downtrend and then sideways movement. I wouldn't call the top yet until I see a significant downward movement with Bitcoin, which right now Bitcoin is actually having those higher lows as we move forward. In terms of, if we're looking at higher time frames here, maybe the 4 hour, we're seeing that we're already seeing some sort of a downtick, right? We're seeing that downtick in terms of the MACD, in terms of the momentum. We just had it here, a couple of bars. The weighted MACD is literally about to cross over within the next candle, right? We need to see what happens within the next candle. But if the next candle continues to cross down, then I would see that Bitcoin can easily go back down here to the 34, 35 region again, and find that support here, and it would still remain bullish, right? It would still remain bullish for Bitcoin to go all the way back up. So I think that we will have that reversal back here. I think Ethereum will also have that reversal back here. You can tell that we're going up here. This 4 hour candle showing the sellers came in to actually drive the price down. Not so much, not below the opening, but at least that they came in and actually rejected the price action. And we're seeing this candle over here where more sellers and more sellers are actually coming in to drive the price down. We still have 3 hours and a bit remaining for this 4 hour candle to close. But I think so within the next 3 hours, that's what we need to keep an eye out on. If this downward trend continues to go, I would say that we will definitely find support, if anything, at the 1,500. We're gonna see if that has to hold or no. But if anything, even if we drop back down to the 1,470, even the 1,464, we still have a lot of cushion as we go down, right? So the next hour or two are actually pivotal in terms of what we will project as a price target for Ethereum. But for the most part, the whole market is actually going up, and I think the breathing room is a must. I think Bitcoin should actually go all the way back down here to have some sort of a healthy retracement, continue that uptrend, and we're gonna have some a significant resistance happening at the range between the 37,200 and the 38,000 and a bit, right? 38,500. So these levels are critical. Although we're very bullish, expect a lot of resistance to show up, and expect a lot of resistance for Ethereum to actually show up too as we move upwards here. So yeah, retracement is to be expected, and going back down here to the 1,476. I see, I don't like calling lines, right? I don't like having a line. It's just more of a range here. It's easy. Just expect Ethereum to actually come back down to retest this newly formed support line, right? For the longest time it was resistance range. Now it should be a support range, right? So anything above Ethereum will have to retrace at least back to I would say the 1,500, and if that doesn't hold, then the previous support at the 1,477 or this range. Somewhere at the 1,400s to the 1,500s is where we're going to find that support for Ethereum. So keep an eye out. Let me know if I missed anything. If you like this video, please press the like button, share it, and share your comments in the comment section below. And thank you for watching.